Welcome to your source for research, innovation, news, insights, and commentary. This is Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by Toluna, featuring its panel portal, a branded community solution that lets you listen and learn from the people you want to understand the most. Early yesterday, Macromill, which is Japan's largest online research provider, announced it's merging with MetrixLab, a global provider of marketing insights and analytics. It brings together $300 million in worldwide research revenues between two companies that didn't exist before 1999. And that makes these two classic examples of organizations that jumped on researchers' high-tech game-changing bandwagon and quickly and quietly evolved into world research leaders and powers. What strikes me most about this deal are the four goals that the new Macromill branded enterprise says it is going to focus on. The first is integrating survey and other data for what Macromill says will be superior holistic insights. Next, development of engaging, intuitive delivery of research results. Third, an online research app store with selections that will stunningly speed up the fielding of research projects. And four, proprietary survey and data management software, plus ultra-efficient global consumer panels and related processes that are going to make research, it says, much more affordable. By the way, Bain Capital Partners, that's Mitt Romney's company, they took Macromill private earlier this year. Moving on, 2 weeks ago at the market research event in Boca Raton, I sat in on a panel discussion that was supposed to show client market researchers' successful use of social media. Well, as I sat in, I heard a mix of good and bad stories from client researchers representing Unilever, Georgia Pacific, Campbell Soup, and the BBC Worldwide. Afterward, I discussed social media's current and future role with the BBC Worldwide EVP of Insight, David Boyle. Here is part one of our conversation.
Yeah, I think there are some really big challenges with social media research, and I think everybody recognizes the potential of it. Everybody loves the fact that there's free data there. It's sat right there, and we can put our fingers on it. I think the question is it the right data for the business problem you're trying to solve? And is there better data out there that you can get hold of, like quant research data, which might do a better job for the kind of problems you're solving?
Do you have any qualms at all about it being part of the research toolbox right now?
No, I think there's some really valuable uses of it as part of the toolbox. I think that's exactly the way to think about it. But I think you have to be clear what it's good for and what it's not good for. So I think it is very good for minute by minute or hour by hour or day by day trends. It is very good to get a feel for what some people are saying about your brand, things like that. But you don't want to use it to understand what your overall audience is saying about your brand, because quite possibly the people who are talking on social media about your brand are wildly unrepresentative of the vast majority of your consumers.
So the way you just describe it, it sounds to me like online research 15, 20 years ago, when it was more directional than it was anything else. In other words, you really couldn't make decisions based on it, but it would give you an idea of what was going on out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me, but I think where we are today is that we feel very confident that we can get a broadly representative selection of the population using online research. There are massive panels, companies hugely incentivized to find people, rich and poor, engaged and unengaged with your brand. We get balanced responses. Old people behave like old people, young and rich people behave like young and rich people. The results are consistent over time. We're pretty happy with it for most of what it is we're trying to do these days.
Now, are you using information, social media-wise and otherwise, that relates to the UK or to the US and the UK, or exactly what?
We tried to do things in 24 countries at a minimum, and so we'll do smaller studies in one country or several countries to pilot ideas or to test things. But we're a global business, so unless we can get broad reach and representation of the world at large, then we're not as excited.
You don't want to miss RBDR tomorrow on our second aspect with David Boyle, in which he will discuss how close the BBC Worldwide has come several times to making social media work brilliantly, and why it hasn't happened yet. You will find that most interesting. That's your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by Toluna, featuring its Panel Portal, a branded community solution that lets you listen and learn from the people you want to understand the most. We've created a link for you so you can find out more directly about Panel Portal. Subscribers to our email will find that link in the email. Everybody else, you can visit the description box, which is directly below this video. We hope you have a great research day and that you will be back to join us here tomorrow.